Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Lakshmana Naik, working as scientist at Dairy Chemistry Division, ICR, National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal, Haryana. Today we are going to discuss about roasting and smoking of foods under the paper Principle of Food Processing and Preservation. You might be surprised that the most of the food we eat are processed, and these days various processing techniques are in practice, and the primary objective of any food processing is to produce a safe and palatable food. So let us discuss about some of the thermal processing aspects in this topic. So that is roasting and smoking of food. So we'll discuss about how this roasting and smoking differ from other processing techniques. We'll discuss about its important with some examples. Coming to the objectives, we'll cover what is roasting and how it differ from other processing techniques. We'll discuss about the roasting of coffee bean and also the preservative effect of smoking process. In this, we will discuss about the basic fundamentals of food processing. The food processing techniques date back to the prehistoric ages. Cooking is evolved as one of the widely practiced food preservation method. It is a type of heating process in which the primary objective is to produce a more palatable food. During cooking, heat is transferred to the food either by conduction, convection, radiation, or by the energy of microwave electronic heat. In general, cooking takes place either by moist or dry heat. In the moist heating, water or steam are used, while air or fat are mostly commonly used in the dry heating system. The word cooking is a broad term embodying at least 6 forms of heating, which includes baking, broiling, boiling, roasting, frying, and stewing. The method of applying heat energy and the duration of heating differs somewhat for each of these processes. Baking, broiling, and roasting usually require dry heat at a relatively high temperature, generally more than 100 degrees Celsius, while boiling or stewing, these are done by placing the product in a boiling water, or frying, which involves cooking in oil, and the temperature in this case reaches more than 100 degrees Celsius. It may go to 200 degrees Celsius also. As we discussed in the previous slide, we have different processing techniques. So in this slide, we have given the different cooking techniques and its mode of heating. So in general, cooking takes place either by dry or wet heat or combination thereof. Hence, the method of applying heat energy and the duration differs somewhat each other. In food matrix, heat is transmitted either by conduction, convection, radiation, and based on these parameters, the heating mode or the heating cooking process is differentiated. Mainly, we have dry, wet, fat based, or mixed combination of these heating mediums. And the cooking techniques are, in case of dry heating, these are mediated by conduction, convection, radiation. Mainly dry roasting, hot salt frying, baking, smoking, grilling, toasting. This falls under the dry processing. Under the wet processing means wet heating, blanching, boiling, decoction, parboiling, podding, infusion, simmering, steeping, and stewing. These falls under the wet type of heat processing. We have another type of processing, the fat based. In this method, the fat or oils are used to process as a heating medium to process it. So here we have high heat and low heat, different categories. Under the high heat, deep frying, pan frying, and shallow frying falls. And under the low heat category, sweating and gentle frying are the two types of cooking methods. When it comes to the mixed type of cooking, barbecuing, stir frying, gridding, and indirect grilling, these are the categories that comes under the heat processing. So, and apart from this heat processing, we have non-heat process cooking processing types, mainly the curing, fermentation, pickling, and souring. These are not industrially widely practiced, but uh, these are household method of food processing. Let us discuss what is roasting. Until the late 19th century, roasting by dry heat in an oven was called as baking, and it is one of the oldest form of cooking known. Roasting was originally meant turning meat or bird in a spit in front of a fire. Traditionally, it is recognized as a roasting method. It consists only of baking and cooking over a near open fire. Grilling is normally not a technology of a roast, but since a grill or gridding is used, barbecuing and smoking differs from roasting because of the lower temperature and controlled smoke application. So, roasting is generally defined as a dry heat treatment of food with the intention to generate a roast aroma compound, to develop a color, that deep color, and to often to create a crispy texture. This intentional product alters the explicit difference between the roasting and simple drying. Roasting can enhance the flavor through caramelization, Maillard browning on the surface of the food, and roasting is a cooking method that uses indirect diffused heat, as in case of oven, or it may be a dry type of heat, whether in an open flame or oven. Roasting is applied to a number of foodstuff. In general, any type of food products that has been cooked in above said fashion is called as a roasted food. Let us discuss about mechanism of roasting. Roasting can be used to cook a variety of foodstuff such as beans, nuts, oil seeds, cereal grains, pulses, and most of the roots, bulb vegetables, poultry, meat, fish, and seafood. Roasting is a time temperature controlled process. Thus, it involves dehydration, reaction of free amino acids, and short chain peptides with the free amino and disaccharides during the non-enzymatic browning and protein denaturation and subsequent changes, and subsequently it results in the changes in texture. Roasting is normally carried out under atmospheric conditions with hot combustion gases, and excess of air is as the primary heating agent. Through heat may be also provided by contact with the hot metal surface, but more generally as a supplement to convection from the hot gases. Some heat may also be supplied by radiation, and in some design even as the primary source by radiative heating of various kinds. Baking and roastings are essentially the same unit operation, but they both differ using of the heating air to alter the eating quality of the food. The terminology differ in common usage. Baking is usually applied to flour-based food or fruits, whereas the roasting is referred to as beans, coffee, oil seeds, and meats and vegetables. In general, any type of food can be roasted. So earlier we have discussed about mechanism of roasting. Now with the help of a diagram, let us discuss the how the roasting exactly takes place, means the mechanism of roasting. So in general, the roasting technique is illustrated with the module, and we have given the coffee bean as a reference, and it is most widely roasted foodstuff. The roasting process can be roughly divided into three phases: a drying phase, that is the first phase, second phase is roasting phase, and third one is cooling phase. In the roasting phase, a number of complex chemical reactions takes place. In general, the roasting initial stage of chemical reactions are endothermic, whereas the uh, final stage is exothermic. On an average, the roasting of coffee beans is exothermic reactions. Here, the change in chemical reactions are represented in this way. So, most of the exothermic, most of the chemical reactions are uh, highly advanced. Dear students, let's discuss about how this roasting techniques differs from other processing. So we know that baking and roasting are essentially the same unit operation. This baking and roasting uses hot air as a heating medium, but the terminology differs in common usage. Baking is usually applied for the flour based foods or fruits, whereas the roasting, it refers to meat and meat products, nuts, beans, grains, and vegetables. The important preservative changes are mainly the destruction of microorganisms, almost all microorganisms, and inactivation of undesirable enzymes. Apart from this, reduction of potentially hazardous toxins, these are naturally present in the food system or which are gained in the food system by contamination, and then it results in the development of typical color, taste, flavor, and texture. This roasting results in improved digestibility and palatability. The browning on the surface of the roasted food is the main benefit, and it is one of the marking characteristics that identifies how intensively it is roasted. Method of roasting. Roasting method differs according to type of food matrix. For those foods which are meant for immediate consumption, for example meats and fish products, roasting method differs than that of other foods, for example coffee beans, oil seeds, and nuts. There are several plans for roasting. These are low temperature roasting, high temperature roasting, or combination of both. Each method can be suitable depending on the food and the taste of the people. For roasting, food may be placed in a rack or in a roasting pan to ensure the even application of heat, and it may be rotated on a spit or roticizer. If a pan is used, the juice can be retained for uh, using as it can be used as a gravy. During oven roasting, hot air circulates around the food, and cooking is ensured from the all the sides in even manner. So there are different types of roasters. One is horizontal rotating drum, vertical static drum with blades, vertical rotating bowl type, fluidized bed, and pressure roasting. So pressure roasting is the advanced roaster. So under the horizontal roasting, so there are two types. One is solid wall type and another is perforated wall. So horizontal rotating drum has been the most usual method of providing the contact of hot air in a tumbling coffee bed but roaster have been designed in variable manner, so based on the mechanical principles. So horizontal rotating drums may provide either batch, they may come in either batch or continuous, and fluidized bed roasters are generally operate at the batch mode, and the latest design are of continuous mode. For roasting, food may be placed in a rack or in a roasting pan to ensure the even application of heat, and it may be rotated on a spit or roticizer. If a pan is used, the juice can be retained for using as it can be used as a gravy. During oven roasting, hot air circulates around the food, and cooking is ensured from all the sides in even manner. So there are different types of roasters. One is horizontal rotating drum, vertical static drum with blades, vertical rotating bowl type, fluidized bed, and pressure roasting. So pressure roasting is the advanced roaster. So under the horizontal roasting, so there are two types. One is solid wall type and another is perforated wall. So horizontal rotating drum has been the most usual method of providing the contact of hot air in a tumbling coffee bed, but roaster have been designed in variable manner, so based on the mechanical principles. So horizontal rotating drums may provide either batch, they may come in either batch or continuous, and fluidized bed roasters are generally operate at the batch mode, and the latest design are of continuous mode. Let us discuss physicochemical changes which are occur in roasted foodstuff. Two important preservative changes occur in roasted food are destruction or reduction of microorganisms and inactivation of undesirable enzymes. Other desirable changes that occur during roasting are destruction of potentially hazardous toxins present, which are naturally present or produced by the microorganisms, and then alteration of color, flavor, and texture, and finally improves the palatability of the food components. There are few undesirable changes may also occur, such as degradation of nutritive components and sensory attributes. Essential amino acids loss may be recorded in this. During roasting, beans loses the weight generally between 14 to 20%, depending on the initial quality. The process condition and the target of degree of rotation roasting that determines the loss of weight. The major part of this weight loss is due to dehydration, whereas another substantial part, to 5 to 8%, is caused by the loss of dry matter, and it is primarily due to loss of carbon dioxide. The chemical reaction that converts organic matter into gaseous products also result in the formation of considerable amount of water, and this again get lost as a water vapor. Some of the most expensive and complex chemical reactions occur during roasting affects the carbohydrate of the green beans, and these includes Maillard reactions, which is the reaction between the carbohydrate and protein, Strecker degradation, the continuation of this Maillard reaction, and then pyrolysis and caramelization. These results in the aroma, flavor, and color compounds. Roasting leads to protein denaturation and degradation. So some of the free acids, peptides, and proteins with free amino groups reacts with the reducing sugars, form a glycosamine and amino acids, and then forms the amino ketones by condensation. Then amino acids reacts with dicarbonyls during Strecker degradation to form a amino ketones. On roasting, there is a reduction in the amount of citric acid and malic acid and increase of other acids, in particular quinic acid and volatile acids. So the loss of is about proportional to the degree of roast, and it can be reached up to 80% in the darker roast. This is the physicochemical changes which are occurring in the roasting is represented with this help of this diagram. In this, as we see that there is a drastic increase in the volume with increasing the roasting temperature. So let's discuss in detail. So the volume increases is the most obvious macroscopic change of the bean during roasting. Bean expansion occurs progressively but including a popping phase. Popping phase is the main phase where the maximum expansion occurs. It leads to the considerable decrease in the density. So as the moisture evaporates and density decreases. It is not quite clear that this statement whether the term popping phase applies to all this only to the sound accompanying the expansion or phase of instantaneous expansion. Volume increase and density decrease is a function of degree of roast, but also the speed of roasting. When the resulting bean volume is correlated with the final roasting temperature, bean expansion is caused by a very rapid pressure buildup due to rapid formation of water vapor and gas within the bean. A steady and continuous volume increase is positively correlated to weight loss. The extent of darkness is also positively correlated with the degree of roasting. The roasted whole beans are characterized by the roasting process to which they have been subjected, the so-called the degree of roast, which reflects the external color, flavor, the dry matter loss, which are brought about by the changes during the roasting. In simple term, roasted coffee can be described to having the light, medium to dark roast, and the degree of roast plays the major part in determining the flavor and color of the roasted product. Let us discuss roasting of meat and meat products. Tenderness of meat changes during roasting due to the transformation in the connective tissue and myofibrillar proteins. When heated in presence of water, collagen starts dissolving, which results in crushing of meat, while myofibrillar proteins denatures. This causes in the meat increases hardness and shrinkages both crosswise and along the muscle fiber and connective tissue. During heat treatment, meat loses 20 to 40% of its initial weight, and it is mainly due to leakage with the increasing temperature. Cooking loss is strongly associated with the fiber shrinkage and thereby its impact on the overall process efficiency and its general consumer acceptance of the product. The proper roasting method and setting of temperature, time, humidity parameters, these are the necessary parameters to maintain the tenderness of the roasted food. Let's discuss the roasting process by taking one example, that's coffee bean roasting. So after harvesting of coffee beans, it is subjected for roasting, and it is one of the most important parameter that brings about the coffee flavor and other properties that are important for the coffee. During roasting process, it increases the economical value of coffee beans by 100 to 300% of the raw material. Roasting of coffee beans typically takes place at 200 to 240 degrees Celsius, and it is subjected for different time, and it depends on the desired characteristics. If you want higher roast, it is subjected for the more temperature and more length of duration, and the quality of roasted coffee is influenced by the design of the roaster and time temperature profile. These days many automatic roasters are available. As the temperature increases about 100 degrees Celsius, the green coffee, that is what is called the fresh coffee pods, undergoes to a moisture loss, and from 8 to 12% of the moisture it reaches to 5%, and then beans starts to begin to turn brown, and the caffeol, the oil which is present in the coffee, which is locked inside the beans, begins to emerge, and this process is called pyrolysis, and it is the one of the heart of roasting. So all these physicochemical changes brings about the roasting of coffee beans, and that uh, results in the appearance of this flavor in the final beans. Now let's discuss smoking. Smoking is one of the oldest method of food preservation, probably having arisen shortly after the development of cooking with fire. Smoking is the process of cooking, flavoring, or preserving the food by exposing it to a smoke which is developed by burning or smoldering of plant material, and in most case wood is used as a smoking material. Smoking is defined as the process of penetration of volatiles resulting from the thermal destruction of wood onto the surface of the food products. Let us discuss which are the products can be smoked. Meat, chicken and fish are the most common smoked foods. Apart from this, cheese, nut, seeds, hard boiled eggs, berries, vegetables, and some of the ingredients used to make beverages such as whiskey, Rauch beer, lapsang. Rauch beer is a type of beer, lapsang is a type of tea, and these are also smoked. Pork and beef, hams, bacon bellies and sausages are the most common and commercially smoked meats. Types of smoking. There are three types of smoking: cold smoking, hot smoking, and the combination that is called smoke roasting or smoke baking. So let's discuss the first one, cold smoking. Cold smoking can be used as a flavor enhancer for items such as chicken, beef, pork, salmon. The item is first hung to develop a pellicle, and then it is cold smoked just for long enough to give some flavor. Some cold smoked foods are baked, even grilled or steamed or roasted and sorted before eating. Particular smokehouse are designed in such a way that to give that to impart it, smoke typically between the 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. In this temperature range, the foods takes the smoke flavor but remains relatively moist. Cold smoking does not cook the food. Moving to the next type of smoking, hot smoking. In hot smoking, it exposes the food to smoke and heat is controlled. It is exposed to a smoke in a heated controlled environment. Like cold smoking, the item is hung to develop a pellicle and then it is smoked. Although the food that have been smoked are often related to reheated or cooked, and are in this case these hot smoked food are more safer than that of cold smoked. Hams, hogs are fully cooked once they are properly smoked. Hot smoking occurs within the temperature range of 52 to 80 degrees Celsius. Within this temperature range, foods are fully cooked. It may remain as a moist and flavorful. Next, moving to the third type of smoking, smoke roasting. It is also called as smoke baking. This refers to any process that has the attributes of smoking combined with either roasting or baking. This smoking method is sometimes referred to as barbecuing or pit baking or pit roasting. It may be done in a smoke roaster, in a closed wood fibre mansarde, over a barbecue pit, and the temperature may reach above 121 degrees Celsius. However, this method should be done in a well ventilated area to prevent the carbon monoxide poisoning. Mechanism of smoking. Application of smoke to foodstuff essentially is a physical process. In this, it is based on phenomena of diffusion, absorption, dissolution and deposition in the force field. It is accompanied by the chemical process wherein smoke compounds interact with food components. The basic fact penetrating of smoke formation and application is the production of oxidative thermodestruction of raw materials which is used in the development of smoke. Whether done on a commercial or home scale, the smoke techniques involves hanging the product or placing in a rack in a chamber designed to contain the smoke. Commercial smokehouse usually are of several stores. Often steam pipes are supplemented with the heat and natural sawdust fire. Generally, smokehouse temperature may go up to 71 degrees Celsius and smoke periods vary from the short few minutes to few hours and depending on the type of food and the moisture content. In order to shorten the production process, commercial meats are sometimes artificially smoked by dipping them in a preservative. And there are two types of smoking: the dry smoking and wet smoking. In dry smoking, it uses the dry cooking with the low smoldering food fire, and the food is slowly cooks and develops the smoke flavor. In the wet smoking, uh, water, it is also called as a water smoking. In this case, it is a commonly employed and used for the pan of water which maintains the moisture and tenderness of the product. Let's discuss about the preservative effect in smoking. Smoke is an antimicrobial and antioxidant, but smoke alone is not sufficient for imparting the preservative, preservative effect in the food. So, unless it is combined with other preservative methods, the brown color which is developed at the surface of protein based foods during smoking is primarily caused by the non-enzymatic browning reactions by involving the amino acid group of the protein and carbonyl compound in the smoke. Phenol, as one of the smoke components, acts as a antioxidant agent, while other components like organic acid, alcohol, carbonyls, hydrocarbons and nitrogen compound such as nitroxides, all these compounds found in the surface which are possibly penetrate into the smoke food. Additionally, aldehyde, ketones and ester and ether also imparts the preservative effect on the smoked food. So, all these additives gives the preservative effect. Let's discuss about the desirable effects of smoking on food. The desirable effects of smoking on food are flavoring, preservation and coloring. These are contributed by the smoke material. Wood, the material most widely used for the smoke production, it consists of many group of polymers which are cellulose, lignin, hemicellulose. The composition of wood smoke is very complex and is known to contain acids, carbonyls, alcohols, phenolics and other neutral compounds. Many of the fat soluble compounds present in wood smokes are absorbed into the food surface during the natural smoking, and presumably the same is true for the water soluble compounds such as acids. The typical aroma of smoked food seems to be due to the mainly the effect of phenols, carbonyls, acids, and the smoke phenol contributes essentially to the typical flavor of the smoked food. Let's discuss about the undesirable effects of smoking on food. Undesirable effects are mainly the contamination with toxic compounds of smoke and destruction of essential amino acids of the food proteins, which are attributed to the certain class of components of smoke and liquid smoke. Mainly due to the Maillard reaction, essential amino acids may get destroyed, and uh, we don't know the composition of smoke, and some toxic components may get entered to the smoke food, and these are the hazard. They may cause the hazards. The main problem is smoke compounds. They adhere only on the outer surface of the food. Smoke does not actually penetrate far into the food matrix. Other problem is surface dehydration. This often occurs in the food that are subjected to natural vapors of smoking. Loss of moisture during smoking that cause soluble constant to become more concentrated within the water phase of the food material, and this is in relation to the moisture loss. If some smoke is allowed to get hotter than 85 degrees Celsius, the food will shrink, and uh, the excessively buckle, and even it may result in the split. Smoking at high temperature also reduces the yield, as both moisture and fat are cooked away. Let us discuss about the health implications of smoked and roasted food. There is a misconception among the consumers that if you eat the smoked and roasted food, it may leads to stomach cancer. So let's see what it is exactly and how it is. Eating a diet high in smoked, cured or salted meats and meat products that has been shown to be a risk factor in stomach cancer. So in addition to sugar and salt exposure, smoking can directly create compounds known to have a long-term health consequences. So when we subject any food products to higher temperature, mostly the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, this popularly known as a PAH, this are known to be a carcinogenic, and uh, they may result in the stomach cancer. So it is advised not to have the more salt, more sugar, and more cured, means more roasted food products. So uh, within the limit, one has to go and choose your food habits according to the requirement. In this picture, smoked salmon and cheeses are presented. On the left side, the hot smoked salmon is presented, and in the right side, smoked cheese. So it is very attractive for the consumer that it has developed a brownish, dark brownish color, and it is because of the roasting and smoking, it has gained the crispiness, and the color changes is also imparted by the Maillard reaction, and likewise when is subject for smoking and roasting, this typical type of color and texture changes may be brought about. Finally, let me conclude the topic. Roasting and smoking, this process results in the development of typical color, taste, flavor, texture, and it also improves the palatability of the food. Palatability is the main parameter, sensory attributes. Maillard reaction, Strecker degradation, pyrolysis, caramelization, these chemical reactions alters, and these are responsible for the development of desirable changes in the roasted and smoked food. Coming to the preservative effect, the destruction of microorganisms, reduction of potentially hazardous toxins, and inactivation of enzymes helps to make the roasted and smoked food safe for human consumption. Roasting process increases the economic value. as we discussed in the roasting of coffee bean, it increases the economic value from 100 to 300% of the raw material. And this roasting and smoking has gained much importance, likewise meat and meat products, chicken, fish, and these are the most common smoked and roasted foods. Apart from these coffee beans and meat products, cheese, eggs, berries, vegetables, nuts, these are also be processed using these techniques. So thank you for listening. Thank you very much.